Start now. Yeah. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. Hello everyone, a very good evening to all present here. Here I am Lokinder Singh Rathod with immense pleasure and gratitude. I would like to extend my warm welcome to all present here for that international webinar on overcoming challenges of education industry post COVID-19, behalf of SEAMS Group. So before proceeding with this webinar, let me take a brief moment for the introduction of my organization. Teams Welfare Organization is a non-profit entity established to work in the various areas of educational, social welfare, women empowerment, skill development, and entrepreneurship, and livelihood generation, etc. SIMS Group has conducted various international conferences, seminars, workshops, and webinars in emerging technology in various parts of India and has an active network of 300 plus engineers, managers, researchers, etc. DIGISAKSHAM is also another initiative of SIMS groups and has also conducted more than 100 webinars, 10 FDPS and workshops, and 6 international conferences. So let's talk about today's webinar, that is on overcoming challenges of education industry post COVID-19. So how we can define a challenge? Something that needs great mental or physical efforts in order to be done successfully and therefore test a person's ability. So to guide us all through this topic today, we are having Gargi Dagar ma'am as our guest speaker. Gargi Dagar ma'am have more than 3 years of experience in the field of mental health, working with daily stories, stressors, post-COVID issues and concerns, marriage and family discord, adolescents challenges, confidence issues, insomnia and decision-making support individuals. She is associated with DAV schools and Air Force stations, Rajokari as a counseling psychologist. She has envisioned to make therapy accessible by all, irrespective of age, gender, identity, social, economic background of individuals, to make the health, mental health conversion as a dinner table conversation for households. Welcome, we are glad to have you here. So before proceeding with this webinar, some basic guidelines for our participants. Everyone make sure your mic should be muted and the webcam should be turned off throughout the session. And if anyone having any question or doubt, they can write in the chat box or they can raise their hands. So now I would like to invite Gargi Dagar ma'am to proceed further for that session. Please ma'am, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. A very special good evening to Lokendra for opening up this session for us. And I would like to know certain things, and you people can just revert about those things in the comment section only, so that we can proceed with our session accordingly. So first thing is, shall we keep our language completely English, or we can keep it mix of both so that everyone is comfortable? So you just drop whatever is your preferable language in comment section, and accordingly I'll take over. And secondly, thank you so much, Lokendra, for introducing me so beautifully with the audience and connecting them with me. And thirdly, as we all know that during the COVID time, no matter which age group you belong to, we all spend a good amount of time learning things online. Before COVID, also things were online. There were many courses. People used to depend on YouTube learning. They used to join courses. They used to attend lives. They used to have a lot of resources online also, but it was not a compulsion. And this is something where the people or human species, when something becomes a compulsion to be done, so it just becomes really difficult for them to bear up with that thing. So when your education is made compulsory to be done online instead of following the regular method, which you have seen years after years in your journey of school education or college education, so it completely became a blockage to the mind, that how can I be doing it when I have never done that? Because now it has become a compulsion. It's not a choice that you wish to learn things online or not, but it's a compulsion now. And human beings are not very good with compulsions. We all know that. So to make today's session very interactive, and you people can ask as many questions as you have regarding this thing, I'm not bringing up any PPT for you. I just want to make it an interactive one because it has been really long time, 2.5 years in this COVID period and doing things online and then just looking on the video and just looking on the PPT and then the speaker is explaining it to you and you are just listening to it and then we are good to go for the day. So this is not the idea for today. Everyone look up to education in different manner. Everyone had different sort of challenges during COVID. We all were not in the same journey if we talk about our education and how it was impacted during COVID and how exactly we suffered as an individual in this course of action. So I just want to keep it very, very interactive. You people should keep your cameras on. Even if you're lying on a bed, that is completely fine to me. Just switch on your cameras, ask your questions, try to be interactive, bring in your questions. If you wish to become an educator in next 1 or 2 years and you feel the students whom I will be going and teaching, so how those students would be looking up to the education when for last 2 years they were just playing maybe games online during the class, or they were busy social media scrolling, or they were doing something else rather than attending the lectures online. So the education which happened this way, so how will you take over such students when you will be in the field of teaching next 1 year or 2 year? Or if you were in the same boat where you attended the classes but because they were online, there was a lot of network buffering, there was a lot of video lagging behind, and a lot of other challenges which you faced, and you lost all your interest in learning. And now you are standing on a position where you have your entrances, where you have to submit your research paper, and you are standing on a position where you just not able to figure out how I'm supposed to go ahead from here, because during 2 years of online learning, I was not able to learn properly, and now I have to do a lot of things by myself, so I'm just completely clueless. So you can be in any situation, you becoming educator for the students who were not actively participating during the online course of learning, or you were in that area where you yourself were a student who couldn't make most out of online classes, and now it is all on you. To my audience, I wish to know from my audience first that what do you think about this thing? Are you in which group you are? Are you someone who's trying to save your grades right now, or you are someone who would be educated in next coming months or next coming years? So what are your challenges? I want to talk about that first. Those of you who are comfortable, please switch on your video, or maybe just unmute yourself and speak. And those of you who are not comfortable doing that, you may just proceed with the chat box. But no PPT today, so it means your speaker is not going to be the only person who is speaking. It is you who is going to speak, and I'll just reply to those things. So please go ahead now. I'm waiting for your questions. I think I should become that rude teacher who will call out everyone name by name. Let me do that. So I can see Amritesh at the first place. A wale sabse pehle फंसते हैं. So Amritesh, can you please unmute yourself and share something about you to us? I want to know you a little better. Amritesh, are you here with us? Ayushi, are you here with us?
Yes, ma'am. Ayushi.
Hi, Ayushi. How are you?
Hello, ma'am. I'm fine. How are you, ma'am?
I'm also good. So, Ayushi, I would like to know from you. So, what are you currently doing in the field of education?
I'm pursuing my BBA, Bachelor's in Business Administration from LPU.
Okay. So as far as I'm aware, you must have completed at least 1 year or two during online learning.
Actually, I did my diploma from LPU itself too, and I'm from the
Okay.
2018 batch, and it is
Okay.
my third year of bachelor. I'm doing
Okay.
here this offline mode. Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So was there something which you learned online during COVID period?
Yes, ma'am. Many things like it's shifted online to just like how to manage the things. We literally we know about the softwares and
Mm-hmm.
the timetable, many things,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am. It's like
Okay.
something which we can't actually we are not aware. Like offline mode, you're doing practically, right? Implementations
Yes.
here,
Yes.
or online mode, there is no interaction, but something you are learning how to like upload, how to be like recorded, you have to learn from there many things,
Yes.
and somehow the student will face difficulty too because it's not
Yes.
nothing like interaction, right? So
Yes.
online something difficulty faced by student, and somehow we just adjusted and learn many more things literally.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
what do you want to know from me today regarding how education industry has been impacted by COVID? What is one or two things which you believe I should answer, which makes you feel that the session was worth it for you?
Ma'am, can you use something similar to I didn't get actually proper question, ma'am, please.
Okay, so as you have experienced it yourself, that how COVID impacted the practical learning or practical exposure, so which is actually a very important factor, because see, we can learn a lot of things online. It is not like that nothing can be learned online. It's not like that. But feel like MBBS, feels like MD, feel like engineering, where you actually need your tools in your hand and you need to do something in order to learn something. Those things cannot be done in an online mode, no matter how much the teacher is putting the efforts and how much the student is putting the effort. That exposure is important. So that way, Ayushi, you have very nicely pointed that thing out. So now my question to you is, that way you feel that this particular thing was missing during COVID period, the practical exposure and learning. So what is that one thing, or let's say two things, which you believe, being a speaker, I should point out, or I should give the solutions for, that how we can improvise any particular. For example, if I start telling you that how you can improvise if you couldn't learn things practically or you didn't get practical exposure. So if I give a solution for that particular thing, so is there anything else, Ayushi, where you think, being a speaker, I should point out things that, okay, this is the problem that Ayushi has raised, and so I would like to give the solution to this problem. So is there anything like that?
Ma'am, being a late, sorry, ma'am. Actually, I'm in a hostel, so there will be a background noise. So pardon for that, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, like particular point of view of mine, confidence, ma'am, confidence, like confidence, practical implementation. Because something student gain confidence. You are sitting in drive, giving your interview, something you should gain. Because in like online mode also, like being an I'm student of LPU, I'm also nervous. Something nervousness are there, okay? So online also face to face, I'm talking to you. If I'll like on my video, I cannot interact with you. Something nervousness will be there. So
Yes.
this is also, and in the offline mode, something you on that spot of time you will feel something
Mm-hmm.
nervousness. So main thing students
Mm-hmm.
should be confident, and
Mm-hmm.
like something like implementation there will be. So confidence from
Yes.
my point of view, confidence will be there, and be
Mm-hmm.
bold, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all. It's my point of view, ma'am.
That's
Okay,
absolutely
ma'am.
going in the right direction, Ayushi. I'm very
Yeah,
proud of
ma'am.
you that you summed it up so well. Great.
Ac-
So keep
can I say
interacting
more?
during the. Yeah, yeah, please go ahead. I would like to hear you.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, from my like, I want to gain actually confidence. Like my weakness
Yes.
point is now while giving interviews or
Mm-hmm.
while sitting anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like after joining SEMS, I
Mm-hmm.
literally say I'm feeling proud. while doing this internship, while doing, I'll just gain more confidence. Before that, now ma'am, I was like too nervous. I'm not able to sit front of anybody and I speak a bit also. This is why my weakness, and seems to complete literally improve my confidence, literally,
Yeah.
and feel proud of that. So I want
Even
to gain
I am
more
very
and more.
proud of you that you so smartly and in such a quick manner, you just took up that opportunity when I asked you, Ayushi, are you here? You just said, yes, I'm here. And you just grabbed the stage and you shared your opinions so well. First, you talked about how people are impacted because of COVID education. And then you shifted the whole idea that how you are impacted at the personal level and how you wish to gain a lot of
Uh,
confidence. And then you even shared that you have started working towards that thing also. It's very beautiful. Go ahead,
yeah.
Ayushi.
And second thing, ma'am, the most second very common thing in online mode, you are sitting position and you are doing the work. Even you also experience while sitting your own status position and you are doing the work. Something like physical movement is missing.
Yes.
Physical movement, something is a very like health conscious. Parents saying this move, do exercise and all stuff. But something
Yes.
it's like we have to sit, we have to study in this mode only, sitting, stiffness, everything. So it's
Yes.
health impact also. And students need to be healthy, fresh minded
Mm-hmm.
while grabbing
Mm-hmm.
more knowledge. While you're doing
Yes.
study, you should be very healthy by your mind and by your body. It's very important for students.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's two things very impacted to the student life. So
Mm-hmm.
being a student, I feel these things. Actually, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sick, suffering for my health issues. I'm doing something Ayurvedic also. So this is
Mm-hmm.
literally impact in my life. And now I
Okay.
coming to hostel. Like coming to hostel settle. Everything like exercise, everything walking kilometers, slowly setting down. So I feel now okay, something literally impacted very badly, but after coming help you, I think it's something improving little bit. So two things
Mm-hmm.
I felt in this.
Very nice, Ayushi. Very nice. Thank you so much for making such a great contribution of your knowledge in today's session. And okay,
Thank
so
you,
now
ma'am.
everyone knows. Okay, Ayushi. Okay, so now everyone knows the drill. The way Ayushi shared her opinion. So this session would be a fruitful session for Ayushi if I will share my opinion that how Ayushi can make things better for herself. She's already doing it. She's already working for herself. That's very good, but not everyone has same level of understanding or same level of clarity. So this session is all about getting a clarity. The education industry has been impacted as a whole. For college going student, for school going student, the students who couldn't make it to school, maybe in the government setting, they couldn't get the access to online classes. They did not have smartphones at their home where they can connect the classes, or maybe someone is living in such a remote area where they are not able to connect in the online mode and the network is not there. The whole interest of the student has lost because there's no internet connectivity. So how much will you focus when the thing is not interesting enough to get focused upon? So education industry as a whole has been impacted. We all know that internet is all flooded with the content which talks about how this has been impacted. So now the way Ayushi has shared about herself, I want either you people keep on sharing your thoughts in the comment section that what do you want to learn from today's session, or you just raise your hand. I will ask you to unmute and then you share it with me. Let's try to gain our confidence back, because being a student or being someone who would enter the industry soon to earn, to become an educator, to become an influencer, so I do not want anyone to suffer with the confidence issue just because of for such a long period of time you are sitting on this side of the camera or your smartphone and you just unmuted yourself to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, samajh aa gaya ma'am, and you just muted yourself, because this is not confidence. You missed out on the entire exposure that being a student you should be getting, which is your right. You completely missed out on that particular thing because of the COVID. So let's take this moment of this particular webinar today and try to, if you have confidence issue, or if you believe you wish to face the audience and you wish to present your opinion, point you wish to provide in this session today. So feel very free to raise your hand. I'll ask you to unmute, to drop your thought in the chat box. I'll read it out to everyone and try to take it as a challenge, that I have to challenge myself and I have to take this particular call for myself, that how I can come out of my comfort zone and talk about it. Coming to yes. So Lokendra is saying the interaction in offline removes the mental stress also. Yes, it completely removes the mental stress also when that happens in the offline mode. And we all know the reason for that. When you're sitting in front of your laptop, so when you unmute yourself, so maybe there is a background noise that will come, so you feel a little reluctant to unmute yourself. And you know, if you will if your teacher asks you to unmute yourself during a class and she says, okay, if you're unmuting yourself to speak something, please put your video on, because now you have come to the highlight of the teacher, okay, this particular child is speaking something, but you're sitting in a position where you're not comfortable enough to switch on your video. That is another factor. So again, there's a mental stress. How would I be switching on my video? I can't show people what kind of a house I have. I can't show them what I'm wearing. I haven't taken bath and I'm in the class. And all of other things are also there, which makes people feel stressful about the household situation they are sitting. And so they just avoid becoming interactive during the class, because that will lead to switching on your camera and then just exposing you to the audience you are sitting with. So that is another factor. So I will just go a little in detail about confidence. This is not only with the students, college students and school students, that confidence has gone for a toss. It has even happened with the people who are in their working environment. And during COVID, they have become so comfortable talking to the screen. So it becomes very weird for them when they come offline and they attend meetings, that people are looking onto them, or eye in eye. So when people are looking up to you, eye in eye, so you just lost the whole track of what I was saying. So that is another issue that has been raised by so many people, that because of COVID, this particular challenge has came up. Along with that, if I come to second factor regarding what Ayushi pointed out, that it is becoming difficult for people to maintain their health. Yes. So I will take it as a physical health and mental health. Coming to physical health, so what happened? It becomes very much, it just send you a message when you are getting ready in the morning and you have to go to your offline office or offline class or somewhere offline. So it just mentally prepares you. The time you step out of your house, by the time you reach your office place, so the entire time you are mentally setting up yourself that, okay, I have to go, I have to work, I'll do this today, I'll do that today, this is a meeting that I need to attend, a lot of other things, to do a mental preparation for yourself. But when you're sitting at home, it becomes very difficult to shift yourself from one zone to another. You woke up, you didn't even bother to have your breakfast, brush your teeth, or take a bath, and you just flipped your laptop and you started working. So that way, your mind is not getting any chance to shift from one direction to another. So you woke up and in the same pace you are attending your office, your college, your classes, your school classes, and that is just not letting you shift the whole idea. So that mental blockage is being created now. So if someone asks me what is the topmost problem with the education industry today post-COVID, so I tell people that is mental blockage, because before COVID, you were expected to mingle with people and then come out with solutions. You were assigned an assignment. You have to do that assignment. So maybe you will ask some senior of yours, or maybe you will ask some classmate of yours, or maybe you will ask your teacher 10 times what I'm supposed to do with this assignment. And you try to do a lot of juggling with that assignment. But when you are just sitting in front of the camera over here, and you know that I have 40 people in my class, and if I send, if my teacher will be getting 40 assignments, so will she be actually studying it? Even if your teacher will study all the 40 assignments, but still this thought will trigger you that will she do that much of effort? So your mind will say, no, 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 she will not do that much of efforts, because your mind is telling you that you are mentally blocked. There's a mental blockage. Why you need to put that much of effort? So maybe you'll just prefer cutting and copy and pasting things, and you just upload it somewhere, and you're good to go with it. But this attitude you do not show to the offline classes. You are more aware about yourself in that manner, that if I will submit this, so there will be 39 other classmates of mine who will be witnessing this assignment, and I do not want to be laughed upon. I do not want others to make fun of me based on what kind of assignment did I write. And a lot of other things also happen. So education industry got the major impact because there is a mental blockage. And no matter which age group you are in, starting from pre-nursery to nursery up to your PhD, your master's, your graduation, there's a mental blockage that do not allow you to come out of your comfort zone, because that shifting of mind has completely been blocked. Entirely you are in that house environment, your home environment, that homely feeling. So that homely feeling doesn't allow you to grow in the perspective of how my assignment should look like, how my PPT should look like, how I should be interacting with people on the online classes also. Then there is no certainty that for how long this thing is going to happen that way. Is it only 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? When there is no certainty, so I do not want to put a lot of efforts. So I just feel, okay, this is about this particular semester only. No, so let it be. I don't want to give my whole attention to this. Anyway, I have to go to college from next semester only. COVID is getting settled down. Next semester, I will be in college. Will I be able to have this much of fun? No, I will not be getting this much of chances to have fun. So let me have fun in this semester. I don't want to give a damn about what is happening in the online classes. I still have 1 year and 2 semesters to save my grades. Then I'll put all the efforts. But suddenly something happened. Your next semester starts, and again that is an online semester, and then again you are tossed. Okay, now what I'm going to do? So all of these things have created a trouble for people, which has impacted their mental health in a very, very, very strong manner. There is no certainty that up to which point my education would take place in this particular manner. So that uncertainty made you lose all your confidence. That uncertainty played out with your mental stability, and that thing has impacted you drastically at your mental level. Because you were not told by anyone that up to this mark, you have to be in this online mode so that you can plan your things better. And then when your mental blockage is there, and you're not mentally feeling active, so that will automatically make you physically inactive too. And then when you're becoming obese, or you're becoming overweight, or maybe you're losing weight, and you are just not having the right appetite for eating something, you are not feeling that energy in your body that you can hit a workout. So all of those things are physically and mentally making you feel very, very weak. And that is not letting you make the most out of this opportunity, where you can just regain all of your strength back and just face the situation as it is coming to you. So now it is not you who's saving yourself. You are not wearing your armors. You have just dropped your armors, and you have just left the whole situation on the situation itself. I'll see when it will come to. So again, I'll take a pause over here, and I would like you people to add certain things over here, and then I'll move forward. So we have a comment here. I think there is a positive side also, which we can develop our self-governance capability when there is no one who says do it and don't do that. I am 100% agreeing to what Mohammed Keti has written over here. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name right. He has rightly quoted this thing, and I was about to come on this point only, that if you will meet people and if you will talk to them, and when you inquire them, what made you save all of your grades even during the COVID, and how you managed to score so well even during online classes? So people will very smoothly tell you, that when we used to go to offline classes, it was us, no, who used to study to get this course. So even in the online classes also, it's us who study and get this course. No, whether it is offline class or it is online classes, it is only you who has to take the whole responsibility of educating yourself, because at the end of the day, without self-study, you cannot score good marks. So these things you will get to know from those people who maintained their grades both in offline and online world, and who just kept on self-regulating themselves based on the situation. So now, what education industry needs right now? What does it need that we education industry need? We as an individual who is going to be an educator someday, who is going to start their career after some time. So this is our duty as an individual, and this is the need of the hour as on our individual front as well as on the industry's front, that we understand that how are we going to sail through this period. I completely want to ignore last 2 years. The ignorance is going to be the principle to sail through last 2 years and coming back to the offline world, that I'll completely ignore that 2 years existed and what all loss happened there. I'm completely going to ignore them, and I'm just going to take up people the way they were studying in 2020. Before April 2020, they were studying. So do I want to take people as it is? Okay, these 2 years didn't happen. Let's ignore them. The way people used to study before 2020 up to March 2020, I will just think after March 2020, all of a sudden July 2022 came, and I will start teaching them in the same pattern. And I'm going to ignore that beach mein bhi kuch hua tha. I completely ignore last 2 years. Or being a learner yourself, you also want to do the same thing, that I'll ignore that 2 years existed. The way I used to study in March 2020, I will study in the same manner in July 2022. And I completely ignored something like that happened. The loss of knowledge that happened. No, how many online classes you tried attending, but because of low network at your side or low network at your teacher's side, you couldn't make most out of that lesson. Or you tried to give 100% of your attention, but because of your family cures, your family is fighting at the background, because not everyone has family, healthy families. Your family is fighting at the back, and just trying to concentrate in the class, but you are unable to because you're not feeling good. You lost your loved ones in these waves of COVID, and you missed out on a lot of classes at that time. And when you came back in those classes, so you just couldn't bring back all of your attention with you, and you were there physically, but you were not there mentally. So is it on you as a learner, it is on you as an educator, that do you wish to completely ignore that these 2 years exist? It caused us to lost a lot of things. Or do you actually want to take a complete authority on yourself, being an educator, being a learner, that okay, these 2 years impacted me in this way? So that is your call. So I would be sharing my personal example over here, so that it becomes more clearer to you that how you can save yourself, so that those 2 years, whatever loss they brought to you in terms of your education, those loss doesn't make your career or make your education impacted in a manner where you are not being that good at what you do the way you were before 2020. So when COVID hit, I was done with my master's. I started with my job. So during that time, for the very first month, I just thought I am a kind reader. I read a lot. So when the COVID happened and we were at home, so I just thought I'm saving on a lot of traveling time, and things are very much comfortable. Okay, if we have to stay at home, it's okay. We can just spend time with ourselves, with our families. It's not going to be there for a very long time. So why not to make most out of it? This was my thought process. Even I made Dalgona coffee, like many of you must have made Dalgona coffee at that time, because that's how we were, making things happen for each one of us, trying new things and everything. So for for April, May, June, it was very smooth. I was into reading, doing a lot of physical workout, and just spending time with my family. I started with my online practice at the time. But I just started a few months, and why things are not becoming stable? Till when we are going to be in this particular scenario only? And now I have read a lot, now I have done a lot, but now it's time to go out in the world and interact with them and understand whether your learning is going in the right direction or not. Even if I'm learning, I'm gaining knowledge. But for few days, I kept on feeling whatever I'm educating myself with, is it going to be worth it after COVID is gone? These kind of questions I started asking myself, because I don't know how the outer world is changing, because COVID is not leaving things in the same manner. So is it even right whatever I'm learning? And even if I'm spending time learning all of these things, so post COVID, will all of these things be started coming in my mind, and I started becoming very anxious that why this is not ending, why we are stuck in this thing only. I don't know whether my efforts are going in the right direction or not, and a lot of other things also. After that, okay, slowly and gradually, towards the December, we started interacting with people offline also. We had a lot of commute open, so we can go out, we can interact with people. There were job opportunities coming back, and people were hiring again. So in February, I joined offline working. So when I went to a school, I used to go to government school at that time, being a counselor. So during that time, I realized in the month of February, teachers are rushing the syllabus in schools. So I'm not quoting that this happened in government school, and I'm just saying something negative. I'm just sharing with you what was the need of the hour at that time. That's what I'm trying to share with you. In February, teachers were trying to rush the syllabus in school. So I witnessed this thing in school, and I felt very sad about it, because I have always been a learner who would take learning as a journey rather than a destination. I used to be a slow, I used to take my learning in a very slow pace. I have to enjoy my learning. So I felt very bad at that time that how these students would be coping up with the syllabus, which was supposed to be starting in April 2020 and supposed to end in March 2021. How would they be coping up? Because during COVID, our mental health has actually been impacted. We have seen so much of things happening around us. So these students are way too fragile to, eat up so many words, eat up so many books, grasp so many knowledge in such a short span of time. Teachers were also panicked how we would make our students excel from this particular session, because when students are coming back to school, they've even forgotten what they learned in 8th and 9th class, and now they're going to appear for boards in 10th. How will it happen? So even teachers were panicked, students were panicked. So they were trying to revise the entire thing in the month of February, because from March 1 or 2. Hi, Shitesh, I can hear you. Thank you. Okay. So all of these things happened, and after that, it became, at that time, this thing clicked my mind very hard, that why this particular thing is happening, where, individuals, teachers are on a different race. They have to make the students excel through this. And students are on different race, where they just want to make most out of, coming back to school after 9 and 10 months. And they were not even serious about it. Okay, I have to give my boards. They were only interested in meeting their friends, because they're meeting after 9 or 10 months. So they were all interested in coming to school every day. They used to like, okay, ma'am, Sunday ko bhi bula lo, hum aa jayenge, because they wanted to meet their friends. So this was the energy the students wanted to invest in, to meeting friends, enjoying their offline world, and teachers were just completely concerned about how my child would be excelling through the class 10, because I don't want my children to sink in. So these all were the, challenges challenges and everything that happened during that time. So that time I realized that somewhere everyone has to understand their own learning. The family, the teacher, and the child, the student. These three people have to come in a partnership, and then they need to understand this thing, that how you are going to mark what exactly this child knows and how I have to take his or her journey ahead. At that time, this thought just clicked my mind, and I thought that this thing should have been happened before COVID also, that every student is learning on their own pace and they are getting their own time. But during COVID, when I saw that what kind of situation students were in, so that time I just thought that this is the best thing that can happen in this situation, that I as an educator knows what exactly my child knows, and based on that I'm teaching. So now when schools are taking admissions post COVID, so what I personally believe, I'll just take a moment over here. Okay, so I think that now post-COVID, when schools are taking admissions, so they should be considering this thing, that understanding that the child's, when you conduct an exam before taking the child into the school, you conduct an exam. So that exam should not be taking place on one single level where you are just checking whether this child is good enough to be admitted in your school's grade 5. Rather than, you should be considering this child is a part of post-COVID world, wherein last 2 years, whatever has happened with this child, we do not know exactly. So let's understand the reality. We need to help this child in a manner, being an educator, so that they can overcome the lost learning of last 2 years also. So the admission test or the student intake test should be conducted in a manner where you know exactly. See, and you can tell the parents also, this is your child's status. This is what we provide being a school, and this sort of help you have to provide the child at home with extra remedial classes and everything, so that rather than blaming each other what happened in last 2 years, let's to blame online classes or to blame the last school or the previous school. The idea should be to understand where the child is lacking and then providing the remedial classes, rather than shifting the blame from one party to the another. So that should not be the case anymore. And even if you are going to be an educator soon, or you are going to enter the world, so always keep this thing in mind to keep your motivation and your confidence going. Never think that COVID just took away your confidence from you, or it just shaken you up as an individual, but always keep this thought in mind, which I thought of in 2021 and when I met the students offline, that this is very important for every individual to understand what my scale of learning is. I'm standing on 6 and I want to reach 9, so this should be my strategy. जितना जल्दी आप इस चीज को अंडरस्टैंड कर लेते हैं कि आई हैव टू जस्ट मार्क माय इंडिविजुअल प्रोग्रेस, so it becomes really very easy for you to achieve your milestones, the milestones which were impacted because of COVID. Even education industry has to reshape itself so that whatever has happened during 2 years of COVID, keeping those things in mind, we can create our strategies in a way that is helping us in a manner where we know what exactly we are supposed to give to the people who are in front of us. Even after COVID, in schools, students are learning in the same manner. Nothing has changed. Everything is completely same. So when post-COVID, everything is same. So isn't it unfair at the part of the teachers as well as on the part of the students that they are not being exposed to the right amount of environment or the right way of environment? So this is my personal opinion on this. So how to get back to your confidence, how to take care of your physical and mental health, how to adjust with the changing education industry. These 3 things I have talked upon as of now. So now it's your turn. If you have questions for me, please go ahead. There are 2 comments. I'll just read it quickly and then we are good to go for it today. Because at the end of the day, I as an individual is the contributor to the education industry. You as an individual is the contributor to the education industry. So the things that we felt are lacking, first we have to take art scale, we have to reach the point where we wish to reach as an individual, and then we have to think what we can contribute to the society or to the education industry, and then only we can see that education industry is changing for better, because it is difficult for industrialists who are running the education industry to create changes post COVID, because the number of students we have in India, or let's say globally, is very high. To change something abruptly and then marking or checking whether that thing is going in the right direction or not, because that way we will be in between. Neither we will go on that side with the new methodologies, or nor we will be able to settle down with the old ones. So it's on us as an individual how we wish to see our education industry changing. So I'll just put rest to my thoughts over here, and I'll just go through the comments. And now this platform is all open to you guys, and you can start asking your questions. I completely understand that personal interaction between teachers and students have also costed us a lot of things. Thank you so much for this lovely comment, Professor. Unfortunately, despite best efforts to set up a supportive remote learning experience, evidence is emerging to show that school closures have resulted in actual learning losses. Absolutely. Because again, the way I have pointed it out, not everyone is comfortable to switch on their mic or switch on their camera to become interactive. And school is that space and that social circle of any student who just saves them from any sort of family issues that they can leave behind, come meet their social circle, and make the education or their learning happen. But what has happened during COVID, where the losses have happened, so now the educationists or the people who are who consider themselves to be the educators, if they want the student to learn and get the best of what has happened, so they have to take the complete call of this particular thing. I myself is an educator. I work as a school counselor as well as I'm in teaching profession also. So I personally take care of this thing, that I always tell this thing to every teacher. I imply this thing on myself also, that whenever you wish to see what my child needs post-COVID, I compare my child's progress report before COVID. In March 2020, COVID happened. My child gave 10th grade exams at that time. I should not be taking the example of 10th grade, because in that year, in 2021, in 2021, exams got cancelled. So I can take this example. So let's assume in 2020, my child gave board 10th grade exams, and now I have my child's report card in front of me. I have my child's, every school has this particular thing with them, the UT papers, unit test paper, and the cycle paper we call them, and then SA1, SA2, term-wise exam sheets is always there in school. So you just go through the report card, and if you think there has been a drastic change between two report cards of 2020, in March 2020 is report card, and the report card of March 2022, there's a drastic change, and you want to have a closure look on your child. So just ask your examination cell to take out the answer sheets, compare what happened with the child. Have they lost interest, that they were not interested in writing the answer, they left the answers blank, or they just thought that they do not know the answer, or they wrote everything but they were writing the answers out of the context, and what has been the issue? So when you compare these two sheets of 2020 and 2022, you understand where your child stands, and accordingly you counsel your child, you counsel the family counseling doesn't come from a counseling psychologist only. Every educator has to keep a warm in themselves to be a counselor to the child and to the parents, that how we can just try to reshape our child in a manner where we can bring in the progress. So when in April 2022 students started coming offline, so I told every parent to take UT1 very, very seriously, which happens in the month of May. I told them take these UT very, very seriously, because after May 2022, UT1 summer breaks will approach. And if you believe your child has drastically fallen down on the performance scale in UT1, then I will tell you the strategy. The teachers will share the strategies with you, that how you're going to utilize the summer break to start building up the child's interest back, to make the child feel comfortable with the offline learning again, to help them overcome the challenges that they faced in the online learning. And whatever has happened, UT1 would be a reflection board, that where my child stands, and accordingly we will make progress scale for every child, that how they are going to make progress during the summer break. We have around 30 to 40 days in our hand, and if we try to build a habit in our child, so we would be smartly able to do something. So for this summer break, let's decrease the amount of holidays homework that we are giving to the child, and increase the support toward the child, where we can improvise them on the places where they are lacking certain things. So this is how I made things work out from my school. This is how this is the thing that I taught to parents who come to me for counseling. So this way, whenever you are stuck in with such kind of issues like education industry is stuck in now and other issues, so you have to look for the solutions. The time has gone. We cannot bring that time back. We cannot put in the additional support in those 2 years. But now, how do I want to go ahead from here? That planning is important. If I plan smartly, I'll get results. So when when the children are coming back after summer break, so again, we have a UT2 in schools. So in every school it takes place. So now that will be again a progress marking report for me. I'll compare UT1 and UT2 where my child stands. And then accordingly, I'll have a word with my parents that this is what you are supposed to do now. So that in term one, we can again mark the process. So this is how you slowly and gradually make progress with the child. Rather than blaming anyone, system, school, children, teachers, parents, rather than blaming everyone, we are looking up to the problem and then we are figuring out the solutions. So that's my style of dealing with the things. Any other question from anyone? I would be more than happy to have them, or rest we are good to go for today. Lokesh, are you here?
Yes, sir.
I think we don't have more questions. So can we put rest to our webinar?
Okay, sure. So thank you, ma'am, for sharing your great ideas and information in front of us. And thank you so much for making this session a big success. The webinar was really very amazing. I would like to give a very good thanks to you, ma'am, for gracing this webinar, your presence and voice. But had to magnify our cause in the best possible ways. I hope all the participants learned a lot.
Thank you so much, Lokesh. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time for me and coming to this webinar. I'm still open for further suggestions or further feedbacks from your end. You may follow me or join with me on my Instagram handle, which is known by the name of ICT Speak Official. You can connect with me on my mobile phone over the WhatsApp and call also. I have shared the number with you as well as my Instagram handle. And stay in touch. Let's learn together. And now I'll take your leave and see you soon. Bye.